how do we know if these things we're doing are effective? That is a very American question, okay? Because we want everything we do to be effective. But I believe there are some very spiritual answers. Start at the first one, generosity. The American in us would say, you know you're being generous. You know it's working if God blesses you and you can keep giving. That's not, no. You want to know if generosity is doing what it's supposed to in your life? If the love of money is dying in your heart, that's how you know generosity is doing what it's supposed to do. Because that's what your heart needs more than anything else. A death to the lie that money loves to whisper. Again, money, not an issue. It's the love, the desire. We talked about this, the Greek word in that passage, the intoxication of money. How do I know if prayer is working? Well, the American in us would say if our prayers are answered, no. There are countless people in the Old and New Testament who prayed and prayed, and God didn't answer their prayer the way they may have wanted him to. Instead, what we find is, in the New Testament, Paul says it this way, don't be anxious about anything, but by prayer and supplication, let your requests be made known to God. And what does he say? And the peace of God. Do you want to know how to know if your prayer life is working? If you have a peace of God that passes understanding. That's how you know if your prayer life is doing what it's supposed to. Because prayer is not just a mechanism to get something from God. Prayer is a way in which we receive the peace of God. So there's this easy answer. Well, if I'm, no. Are you at peace? More than the world needs to see a church where everything we pray for is answered, they need to see a church where no matter what the answer is, we have peace. Because that passes all understanding. That doesn't even make sense in a 2 + 2 = 4 world. Well, Pastor Mark, how do I know if fasting is working? Well, I think we all want to lose a little weight, right? That's how we really know. That's not the answer. Is it because, maybe when I pray and fast, there is a mighty move of God? No. The point of fasting is always to grow a hunger for God in you. Are you more hungry for the Lord now? Or are you just passing the time because Christians have always done this, so I'm just going to do this? I would say it this way. I know that generosity is doing its work in my heart when I have died to the love of money and I'm growing in my trust of God. And by the way, all of these reveal a trust in God. You've got to trust God to pray. You've got to trust God to give. You've got to trust God to fast, okay? I'm depending on God for food. I'm depending on God like for physical sustenance. I'm depending on him for answers to prayer. And I'm depending on him financially. But when I give, I'm really trusting in such a way that my love of money is dying. When I pray, I have this peace that no matter if God answers it my way or not, I can trust God in his sovereignty. And when I fast, I develop this hunger. So how do I know if these things are working? Well, am I more hungry for God? Am I known as someone who's at peace? And do I have a trust in God that is putting to death the love of money?